Apparently, Sleeper Simulant can collateral an unlimited number of guardians.
That would be crazy. Oh my god.
Was that all of us? Was that all of us?
That was everyone. All right, myth confirmed. That was the first of the 100 Destiny myths you guys sent in, and we're going to be busting them all by the end of this video. Apparently, if you fall onto a flat surface, it's completely impossible to die from fall damage. Well, after this I did some testing, and there are a couple of exceptions, but in most cases it's true that you cannot die from fall damage no matter how high up you go. Apparently 2 Arc Striders can infinitely bounce a throwing knife back and forth.
Oh, it does bounce.
Oh yeah, it worked.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, it's even longer too. It's so sick.
It's going forever. Oh my gosh. I've heard this one repeated like a million times and I really don't know why, but apparently if you pull out your ghost while you're on fire, it will prevent the burn damage. So let's get on fire from this little thing and then go over here, and I have the burning debuff and I'm still on fire. Pulling out your ghost might hide your health bar, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean that you're not taking damage. Just to be certain, I also tested this in Crucible and yep, it's doing absolutely nothing. This one's busted. Okay, this next one seems a little bit far-fetched to me personally, but apparently you can prevent headshot damage by using the facepalm emote to cover up your face. It's hitting body shots. No way. That is actually hilarious. I did not expect that to happen. Apparently, if you go into the main cave in the Quagmire, there's like this mud that you can go in and write messages and stuff. So let's go see what it's all about. Myth confirmed. Walking in it is actually leaving a trail. That's awesome. This is actually so cool. I highly recommend writing a message here and sending it to a friend. There's a myth that all LFG groups are toxic, so I'm gonna go join this LFG group for the raid and tell them that I have never done it before. Hey, so I've never done the raid before. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Busted. I actually LFG a decent amount just for pinnacles and random stuff if I don't have a team. And while there are some toxic people out there, there are a lot of nice people as well. Apparently your teammates can kill you by shadow diving on your head. So apparently if you stand nearby any portal in the game, it will completely and entirely remove all recoil from all of your weapons. Okay, so just for reference, this is what my gun normally looks like when I'm not controlling the recoil at all. So then apparently if I just go stand near this portal, it will completely remove it. That is wild. It's like my weapon just became a laser. Okay, so apparently if you swipe while falling off the map with your Spectral Blades, you will just infinitely fly in a straight line. Wow, look at that. That's actually insanely fast. I love this. I can just fly around here forever. That's pretty cool. Apparently you can do the same exact thing with swords. I mean, it's close, but I'm definitely falling down more, so myth busted. Apparently you cannot get banned for exploiting the game or map and glitching into unplayable areas. I'll get back to you guys on this one later in the video, so we'll see if anything happens. Apparently, Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun can one-shot a Titan and a bubble all at the same time. That actually works. That's a really good counter to the bubble. Apparently, there's a unique weapon animation that you get by sprinting immediately after using your finisher. I mean, I don't know. It looks pretty normal to me. Let me try it again. I don't see anything special here. I'm going to say busted. A few hours later, though, this happened. What is happening? I guess the finisher myth from earlier is confirmed after all. Can you reflect the worm from the Parasite grenade launcher?
Oh, you can. Oh, oh my god.
What about the Wardcliff coil?
That definitely worked.
It works.
Yeah, the one rocket is still going.
Oh yeah. It's so fast, bro.
Oh my gosh. Today on Twitter, I saw someone say that high caliber rounds does not increase the flinch in PvP. Here's a shot from high caliber rounds, and now we're switching off of high caliber rounds, and here's a normal shot. Upon reviewing the footage, it looks like high caliber rounds increases the flinch just a little bit, so myth busted. I hear it all the time. Destiny 2 is a dead game. But if you look on the Steam charts, Destiny 2 is almost always within the top 10 most played games and almost always has over 1 million active daily players. Overall, I think it's safe to say Destiny is far from dead, and this one's definitely busted. Lasting Impression is a rocket launcher perk that causes the rockets to stick onto a surface before exploding, but apparently you can ricochet the rockets themselves off of the surface that they stuck onto by using ricochet rounds. Yo, no way. This is easily one of the most wild perk interactions in the entire game. Okay, so I want to know, does this still happen if the rocket is actually attached to a target? Because obviously that would not be very good. Nope, it looks like they still explode like usual, so that's a good thing. There's a myth that having a really high resilience stat will frequently save your life in the Crucible, so I'm gonna go put on tier 9 resilience and then go play 10 games of Crucible and let you guys know how many times it saved my life. Okay, so I'm back after playing 10 games of Crucible, and it turns out that having a high resilience saved my life exactly 0 times, so myth busted. So apparently if you're boosting your Sparrow and then you boost it again, it will make you go even faster. So to test this, we're gonna do a Sparrow race, and then I'm gonna do extra boosts and see if it gives me an advantage. So most people probably know that you can use weapons with ricochet rounds to bounce the bullets off the wall and hit people around the corner. But apparently any weapon, even without ricochet rounds, still has a chance to ricochet. So I'm taking the ricochet rounds perk off to see if it still works. Okay, so I've fired a few hundred bullets at this point and not a single one has ricocheted, so I think it's safe to say myth busted. I've been told that you can take less damage from Axion bolts by sliding into them. Myth confirmed, I definitely took a lot less damage than usual, and for reference, here's a screenshot of what it normally looks like. You can fire your full auto weapons faster than usual by mashing the trigger instead of just holding it down. So here's me holding down the trigger, and here's me spamming it as fast as possible. I'll do a side-by-side comparison in the video, but looking at it right now, I think these look exactly the same, and I don't think this has been a thing since Destiny 1, so myth busted. So most of you probably know that partially drawing a bow makes it have travel time, but apparently bows will always have travel time no matter what. So after doing some tests and analyzing some footage, it turns out that yes, bows do have travel time no matter what, even if they're fully drawn. I'll do a side-by-side comparison in the video, but it's pretty obvious to me that there's a significant amount of travel time at really long range. So there's a myth that the Tempest Strike melee is really good at countering Titans because it will go straight under their barricade and hit them. Nope, it literally just crashed into the barricade. There's a myth that the sticky grenade perk on grenade launchers makes the grenades count as physical objects and can thus prevent vehicles and ships from moving. I know this next one might come as a surprise to a lot of you, but apparently capping the zones in Control and Iron Banner does not cause you to spontaneously combust. Cabal have two crit spots, one on their head and one on their back, but apparently one of them does more damage than the other. Okay, so let's see, the front does 7,000 and the back does 10,000. Okay, that's pretty cool. If you use a Void subclass with the Bombardiers, the suppression will be able to knock people out of their super. Bombardiers can prevent a super from being cast. Confirmed, I can't use my super right now. Apparently 3 Guardians can cap a zone just as fast as 6 Guardians.
About the same, it looks like.
Throwing a grenade has a long animation during which time you can't shoot, but apparently if you throw a grenade and then immediately switch your weapons, you'll be able to shoot again right away. Oh my gosh, that's literally insane. That's so fast. I just shot my grenade and I wasn't even aiming for it. And I guess we just confirmed another myth. You can shoot your own grenades to explode them early. So apparently if you jump onto this little piece of the castle on the Fortress PvP map, you can then jump even higher and land on this route? This is seriously so OP. I really hope they patch this soon. This is just unfair. Apparently if you clash swords and then run to the other side of the map and then clash swords again with one person jumping, you will gain the ability to fly. Let's see if it happens.
I saw your character model in the sky for a second.
You can use the stag to spawn healing rifts in the tower. You can die from an unoccupied sparrow falling on your head. Oh my gosh, yep, apparently you can. Have you ever tried to shoot your weapon, but the game just said no and it wouldn't let you shoot? So apparently this problem is caused by frequently switching your weapons, and I'm putting this to the test. Okay, so here's me switching back and forth a lot and then trying to shoot as fast as possible. And then here's the same thing, but without spam switching my weapons. Wow, okay, confirmed. It was definitely much faster when I wasn't switching my weapons before trying to shoot. Okay, so this one's not really possible to demonstrate, but apparently having more range on your weapons increases the amount of aim assist that you have. In reality though, it's really just increasing the range at which your aim assist is effective. Okay, so apparently controller players can boost their sparrows extremely slowly by just partially pulling the trigger. I'm traveling at snail speed, but boosting at the same time. I don't know how this one is still a myth, but apparently mouse and keyboard players don't have aim assist. Here's a shot on mouse and keyboard, and look at that bullet bending. And then here I'm also doing it on controller, and yup, the same amount of bullet bending. They are the same. There's a widespread belief that full choke is a great barrel option for shotguns. However, my friend Yerda did over 1,000 shotgun tests on his recent video, and the data clearly shows that full choke does not increase the chance of a one-shot kill at 7 meters, so myth busted. There's a myth that when a perk refers to combatants, that means it only works in PvE. This mod says combatants and makes me become charged with light by getting hand cannon kills. So I'm gonna go get a hand cannon kill in the Crucible and see what happens. So that one's busted. Sometimes a perk that says combatants does work in the Crucible. You can refund some of your super energy by using Orpheus rigs with Shadowshot Deadfall. But apparently if you cast your tether and then immediately switch to another subclass, you can actually regenerate that super instead of regenerating your Shadowshot super. I got exactly 0 super energy from that, so definitely busted. So there's a myth that stability is a useless stat on bows because you just fire 1 arrow at a time anyway, but apparently stability will increase the amount of time that you can draw the bow before you're forced to fire or reset. So here's a bow with low stability, and here's a bow with high stability. Apparently anti-barrier rounds lets you shoot through the group shield of a Sentinel Titan. Nah, that's busted. The shield is definitely still blocking them. Apparently, almost 90% of people watching my channel are not subscribed, and this one is actually confirmed. So if you're enjoying this video, hit the subscribe button and help us reach 100k subscribers. So apparently the Titan bubble is now a different shape than it was before. Looking on my other monitor and comparing the old Titan bubble to the new one, it seems like the new one has definitely gotten a bit taller, like there is less of it underground. Apparently every weapon in the game will reload much faster if you actually press the reload button instead of letting it automatically reload. So let's see, that time I actually pressed the button, and then this time I'm just gonna let it reload automatically. Okay, yeah, it pauses for quite a while before starting the reload. There's this rare exotic ship called Victory's Herald, and apparently it has a unique jump animation when it goes to other planets. Yo, what was that? Okay, yeah, somehow I don't think this is intended, but that's pretty cool. There's a myth that this cannon can launch you way off into the distance if you stand on it when it goes off, so let's see what happens. No, not really. It just killed me and launched me off the side of the cliff. So I've been told that if you go really fast and then slide and use the selfie emote, it will put you in third person instead of doing the regular first person like this. That's actually really cool. I love it. Apparently you can survive a really high fall on your Sparrow by hitting the strafe button just before you hit the ground. Normally your Sparrow just explodes and kills you, so this is cool to know. So apparently the optimal gambit strategy is to have one person in your fire team melee the Primeval because it will stun lock them. It doesn't look like he's getting stunned whatsoever, so this one is busted. Okay, so apparently if you go to the fluorescent canal and then go look at this fountain, there's a moth that's traveling around in circles in a boat. Oh yeah, sure enough, there he is. He is so cool. I almost don't want to collect him. I just want to let him be. Okay, so apparently if you equip a moon weapon and then go stand near a nightmare, it will do a unique glowing animation. Okay, I'm right next to him, but I don't really see anything. Oh, the little tags are glowing. That's actually a really cool attention to detail. So apparently standing in the fire in the prophecy dungeon will count as standing in light and will cause light motes to spawn. Let's see. So hit me with some fire and then I'm going to defeat him. And nope, it still spawned dark motes. Myth busted. When you aim down sights with Ace of Spades, you'll still be able to see your radar. But apparently if your opponent uses Gemini Jesters, an exotic that is supposed to remove your radar, you will still be able to see it if you're using Ace of Spades. And look at that, my radar is still there after being hit by the Geminis, myth confirmed. So is Destiny 2 becoming pay to win? You can see right here I have the default Chaperone ornament, the one that's free, and it does 186 damage. But then, without moving, if I go into my inventory and switch over to the Panama Ravine ornament that has a slightly longer barrel, I can just one-shot him from the same exact distance. This also confirms another myth that barrel length increases the range at which your weapons are effective. Okay, so this one seems pretty far-fetched to me, but someone said you can push away incoming projectiles by hitting them with the tractor cannon. Yeah, I don't know where you got that one. It definitely doesn't work. Apparently you can dodge bullets by using the ragdoll emote to lift yourself off the ground. Wow, okay, myth confirmed. Apparently you can entirely block fall damage by just blocking with your sword. I mean, I still took a little bit of damage, so I'm gonna have to say busted. This one is pretty strange, but apparently Cerberus will do more damage the further away you are. So as you can see, I'm doing like 16 damage at point blank range, but if he backs way up, let's see if I can do more than 16 damage. It's doing 18 damage. Okay, myth confirmed. So if you want to do an activity like a raid, but you don't have a group, there's this thing called guided games, but apparently it doesn't work. So we're gonna test it out. So I just launched it, and I'll get back to you guys when or if I find a group. So I'm back, and actually only 16 minutes later, I found a group willing to take me into the Vow of Disciple. So myth busted. Guided games does work, it just can take kind of a long time. So normally the maximum amount of gambit motes you can have is 15, but apparently if you have 14 motes and then you go pick up a mote that is extremely close to another mote, you can have up to 16 motes at once. Yeah, I don't think this works. I've been testing this for literally 20 minutes and nothing has happened, so myth busted. So apparently the Drifter is an enemy, and you can see this by aiming onto him with your weapon. So apparently in Gambit, you can launch your rocket launcher or other projectiles through the portals and they will come out the other side. I've got someone waiting on the other side to see if anything comes out. Nope, it doesn't seem like anything came out, and actually just looking at my perspective, it seems like the rocket exploded on the rock that's like kind of behind the portal, so myth busted. Okay, so I'm here in the helm with my rocket launcher, and apparently you can fire your weapon by pulling out your ghost, sprinting, and then firing right away. So let's see what happens. Okay, myth confirmed. Apparently the TQ's divination is a great counter to Nova Bombs because it will lock on and defeat the individual seeking projectiles.
Oh,
It actually does. That's awesome.
that's pretty cool.
Apparently TQ's also locks on to the moths from the throne world. Apparently you can cap Zone B on Anomaly from underneath the zone.
Hey, you can.
Yo, that is actually so funny.
Well, it takes astronomically long.
A lot of people like to stand up here when they do the callouts for the Axion oracles, and it's kind of annoying because the enemies will just shoot you in the face. But apparently if you use this emote, it will make you go inside the wall and the enemies will not be able to shoot you. So let's see what happens. They're just shooting into the wall. They can't hit me. I'm just going to use this every time from now on. Teraba is an amazing exotic, but it has one huge problem. If you switch to another weapon, you will lose progress on its Ravenous Beast perk. Apparently this problem can be fixed by simply switching your weapons while you use your class ability. So I just switched to my sniper and switching back. Look at that, I still have the Ravenous Beast perk fully charged. There's a myth that snipers have infinite range. It seems that I can hit my target perfectly fine until a certain range at which my bullets disappear into thin air. So myth busted, snipers do not have infinite range. Landing on top of the Traveler Ball will sometimes launch you way up into the sky. Okay, I've tried this like a trillion times and it hasn't worked, so this one's either busted or just extremely rare. There's a myth that it's impossible to stand on top of another Guardian. There's a myth that objectively perfect weapon rolls actually exist. This one is definitely busted in my opinion, because each Guardian's personal preferences and playstyle can have a massive impact on which weapon roll is actually best for them. There's a myth that you can fire your weapons faster by sprinting towards the end of the reload animation in order to cancel that part of the animation. This is actually totally busted though. The game will not let you shoot your weapon until the reload animation would have finished. Apparently if you crash your interceptor into the side of a tank, it will just one-shot it. Oh, I've been playing this game since the beta and I never even knew about this. For the Halloween event, there's a Broomstick Sparrow and apparently it travels 2% faster than all other Sparrows. Looks like this one's busted. I seem to be traveling exactly the same speed. So apparently if you dance while capping the zone, it will cause it to cap faster. I mean, I haven't done a comparison yet, but that does not seem any faster. There's a myth that there's some magical range cap on shotguns and going over that number does not increase the effective range. So here I have this shotgun and it does 165 damage and it has 62 range, and then switching over to my other shotgun that has 89 range, it one-shots, so myth busted. The Destiny community has a widespread tendency to believe that some public events are randomly made heroic. However, this is the case with literally none of them. Gjallarhorn can kill your own teammates. There's a myth that bullets in Destiny 2 come out of the ends of your weapon. I thought an easy way to test this would be to stand near a wall, because since the gun is on the right hand side, it's clearly aimed into the wall, but I am actually aimed onto my target. And as you can see, I'm still doing damage to my target, so myth busted. I guess the flip side of this is that the bullet trail visual effects are actually accurate. As you can see, the bullet trails are going right through the wall, so clearly the visual effects do not actually represent the actual bullets. There's a myth that stuff that goes into the Destiny content vault will never come back. If you go to Bungie's website though, they clearly say that vaulted content could return to the game in the future. Apparently the stability stat on your weapons is not important for mouse players. This stat also impacts how quickly your weapon's aim assist cone resets, allowing you to land shots much more consistently. Stability matters a lot for everyone. What happens if you reflect an Axion bolt? So apparently shooting someone's weapon in PvP counts as shooting their body, and therefore large weapon models are disadvantageous. So I'm just going to shoot right above his arm into the weapon and see if it does any damage. So his arm does damage, but the bullets pass right through the weapon and do 0 damage, so myth busted. So you might know that moving these little balls to different locations in the tower will eventually cause a big traveler ball to spawn. But apparently you can just go to those locations and pull out your ghost instead of moving any of the balls at all. So I'm going to pull out my ghost and look at that, it's actually working. That's a really easy shortcut. And just like that, there's fireworks and we've summoned the traveler ball off in the distance. Apparently the hunter dodge completely removes the aim assist of people who are trying to shoot you. So if someone just normally walks through my reticle, it will drag it a little bit. But if someone dodges through my reticle, nope, it doesn't move at all, so myth confirmed. There's a myth that you haven't joined the Shadow Destiny Discord server, and if this is true, you're really missing out. We have one of the most active and well-moderated servers in the entire Destiny community, so definitely join your fellow Guardians at discord.gg/ShadowDestiny. Apparently, you can use the Shadow Dive infinitely over and over while in your Spectral Blade super. This is actually confirmed, and I went over it in my guide video for coming up with the perfect Night Stalker PvP build. Earlier I mentioned a myth about getting banned for going out of bounds and using game exploits. I wasn't banned, and according to Bungie's website, they will never ban anyone for discovering an exploit. So there's a myth that having a really high field of view setting is always a good idea. I actually busted this one in another one of my videos explaining why low field of view is the right choice for some players. Apparently the average viewer on my channel has only ever watched 2 videos, and according to my analytics, this is actually true. So if you enjoyed this video, all that I ask is that you click on my channel and then click on a video that you think looks interesting. Here are 2 videos on screen that I think you would enjoy watching. Please check one of them out. Thanks for watching this video and have a good day.